Hello everybody. Today I'm here to talk to you about a science writer that we all know and love. We actually already read one of her articles, The Big Kill, in class in our green book. Elizabeth Kolbert. She's a very well-known and prominent science writer in today's field, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about her accomplishments and her style of writing today. So, she studied, many sources say she's born 1961, to give you a little gauge on how old she is. She studied literature at Yale and then eventually received a scholarship and transferred to the University of Hamburg in Germany, where there she became a stringer for the New York Times and wrote many articles for them over there and traveled around. While she was there, she also jumped around to a few other jobs before eventually she came back to America, did some more jumping around at different jobs before she finally landed at the New Yorker in 1999, where she became a staff writer. She's been there ever since, taking some leaves of absence to write some books, but still writes for the New Yorker. So, to give you a little bit about her credentials, she's received several awards. The very first award she received was just 6 years after she became a staff writer for the New Yorker in 2005. She won the American Association for the Advancement of Science Journalism Award. So that really stepped her onto the, gave her a step up and put her onto the field and kind of showed the world that she meant business and what she was talking about was real and was serious, and gave her even more credentials to her work already. So next I'll talk, then her most recent award, 2017, the Seal Environmental Journalism Award. That is because she's big on checking the environment. That's what a lot of her writing is about. She cares a lot about it, and some of her books are about that and what climate change and different things and how humans affect and change things are. She's very passionate about those things. Excuse me. So, in her first essay, which we all read in our green book, The Big Kill, we talked about it, and in this we all discussed how she's not really emotional. She never lets herself get wrapped up down with the audience. She likes to keep a step back from everybody and just kind of let her words do the talking. In some instances, she'll let you get a little bit closer to the audience, but she likes to try and keep her opinions open and just let the facts stand. So I read another 2 of her articles to try and get a little bit more feel for her type of work. So the second essay I read of hers was The Last Trial. Now this one talks about Oskar Groening, a Nazi clerk at Auschwitz. This is him, actually. He's very old now. But so this is very important to her. This one she let herself get a little bit more emotional because her great-grandmother was killed at Auschwitz, so she has family ties to this. So her intro to this, oh, by the way, Oskar Groening, just to give you a little background, he was brought back for trial, even though he's so old, to stand trial for his war crimes. So that's kind of why she was writing this. But the intro was very emotional, and she let herself get down into it. But then the middle was kind of fact-driven, trying to find the sociological, like, middle ground type thing for what we should do with these type of people who were war criminals during a war, but now they're old and they can't go back and change things. But at the end of the essay, she gave a very heartfelt conclusion that was stated, or not word for word, but she talked about how the crimes of World War II can never be repaid, but we should do whatever we can to try and make up for them. So I agree with her there. Nothing will ever change that, but we must do what we can. So on to the next essay, the third one that I read. This one introduces James Turnell and his work and how it changes, or like he's an artist, This is one of his works. He does these big, masterful color schemes, and this one was a rather short essay actually. She visited these places to kind of get a feel for them, because as you can see how small these people are and how big this actually is, you have to be there to actually experience it and feel it in full. And she was writing about how he was visiting a place to honor some of his work, and she kind of just tells a chronological order. That's kind of how most of her things go. Some of them are sectioned, but most of them this one was chronological. And this one really didn't have any real science in it, but I just kind of read it. I thought it was cool, and it was interesting to see her write in a different style. So that was very cool. But this one was third person. Some of them she lets herself get down into first, but most of the time she likes to keep back and stay in third person. Now we'll get on to her most famous recent thing, a book, The Sixth Extinction. This book really just touches on everything that she's done in all of her work. It touches on global warming, and it just kind of brings her whole existence as a science writer together. So with that, I'd like to conclude Elizabeth Kolbert, an amazing science writer and journalist of today, and be on the lookout for big things to come from her. Thank you. That went way